poppin'? What's crack-a-lackin'? What's really good? Thank you for listening to The Rope Break, your source for news, opinions, and anything else that revolves around the world of professional wrestling. It is I, a sexy Samoan whose face is so pretty and has such big thighs that I'm often mistaken for Nia Jax. And
That's a good one.
That one was right off the top of my head. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at my own joke. Yes, I know. I am with my boy, a man whose car smells like he just drove across country with RVD and Willie Nelson sitting shotgun, an entire family of belligerent skunks in the back seat. The excellence of Exhale, Brett, the Hitman. What's happening, bud?
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
And I am with my boy. If he dropped the tugboat gimmick only 4 years earlier, he could have smashed through the Berlin Wall himself and saved the whole country of Germany a whole bunch of grief. The bronking bucko of stucco, Shockmaster Grizz. Say what up to him, Grizz.
It's a little too close to Bronco, what you're saying there, buddy. Especially today.
It's a Raiders night.
So today is a Raiders division game, probably the most important game of the season for the Raiders. For the Shockmaster, he
by
is
far
a giant Raiders fan.
It will go down as the biggest game of the season either. No matter what, it will determine the entire fate of the Oakland Raiders. Before I forget, I must shout out Alternative Control. I have forgotten several times recently. It's all pop culture, heavy metal, local music. I write stuff. I just put out a review of the latest Opeth album. It's worth a read. Just check it out. And they support us too, man. You know, so it's all good.
So how's that Opeth album?
It's actually really, really fucking good, and I would never have picked it up. I would have never listened to it because, like maybe 6 years ago, the band changed their direction drastically. It's all in the article, but this album's really good. I like it a lot.
Check that out at Alternative Control. All right, so it has been a interesting week in the wrestling world. Some things sort of taking shape for Survivor Series. So
and TNA,
and that's cool.
Yeah.
TNA has been all over the place. As a matter of fact,
shit.
There's a big article about Billy Corgan losing his lawsuit and then now not being a part of TNA at all. That's very shocking to me. You can read the full story right now at i95rock.com.
Really?
But yeah.
The TNA story?
The Billy Corgan story.
You posted
No
it?
shit.
Rock and roll.
Did you post
Rock
it?
and roll. Hey, it's awesome. Did you
Are
write
you
it?
are you the
I
one
didn't write
putting
it,
now?
I didn't write it. But you can check that all out right now. And in all honesty, that's very shocking to me. I mean, shit, I think it was just last week. We thought this was going to be the guy to take TNA into at least the future, maybe not the next level, but he was going to be the guy, right?
Well, it's because the other people are against him, right? They don't want him to take over?
Yes, the Harris brothers.
Yeah.
Well, now he's threatening to convert what they owe him into stock because they haven't paid him yet. It's so
weird.
ugly. It's so ugly.
It's weird and it's strange and very, very ugly. You're right.
It's just a shame because if Eddie Edwards was ever going to be the champ, I hate that it's happening during this era. You know?
I know. And the weird thing is, too, is like Dixie is still up in an executive position. How is that possible?
Yeah.
She's done, literally, in all honesty, you could blame Russo. You could blame the talent. You could blame you could blame creative for always trying to be WWE. But the fact remains, it's really all Dixie's fault. Yeah. She's made nothing but bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And so that's why they're in the position that they're in.
She was borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, but then stopped paying Peter. So, I don't know. Jesus was like, listen, you gotta straighten up what you're at. That's the Peter and Paul that they talk about, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Ringo might be in there somewhere.
All right.
Their biggest problem is that they just can't pay people, right? They're having a problem with cutting the checks
fucking
or
money,
what?
yeah. Money will be the thing. You know, I don't think they're making any money off their TV deal, right? That's for a wrestling company, that's the main revenue stream. That's why we see 17 hours of fucking wrestling or WWE during the week, because that's where they get their money from.
They're killing it, yeah, compared to TNA.
Right. And so that will be it's TNA though is like the zombie that could. Literally, the little zombie that could. Like,
You always got
they're
hope
like,
for it.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they lose their legs, they lose their arms, and they're still dragging away, eating brains and stuff. Like, you know, it's
crazy,
just like
man.
it is crazy. It really is. It really is. So, Hell in a Cell happened. In all honesty, that's pretty much it. It just sort of happened. I think they really, really, really dropped the ball with the women. That match could have been, and the weird thing is that by all reports, every single wrestling outlet on the fucking internet this week reported that Sasha was going over until about 4:00 Sunday afternoon.
And then they changed their minds.
Well, they say, according to the dirt sheets, Vince changed his mind like that day, and that it has nothing to do with Sasha or with Charlotte's
Pay-per-view
consecutive pay-per-view streak.
Do you remember, like, August and early September, how high on this product we were?
Yes.
How great wrestling was?
Yes.
Guess who wasn't working then? Vince.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Sasha because she got hurt.
Well, no. I'm talking about... So, Vince was out of commission, recovering from his surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the product was phenomenal. Now he's come back, and everything sucks. Dude, I don't like anything except for Jericho.
You see how they botched that one move? What was it when Charlotte was going through the table? Like, she barely made it through the table. It was like towards the end of the match.
Yeah, but I mean, we've seen it a million times. We were at a WrestleMania and saw CM Punk try to get put through the table 600 times. That he wasn't eating meat then.
Yeah, God.
But you know, he couldn't go through. Obviously, these women are. Sasha Banks weighs like 120 pounds, soaking wet. She can't go through these tables.
Dude, the fact that the one thing that I did enjoy was that fucking powerbomb she got in the beginning of the match.
Listen, it was a hardcore match.
Dude, the way she falls, though, every single time, like you said, the way she took the fall, I'm like, dude, this poor girl's going to break her fucking neck.
She takes scary bumps. She really does.
She doesn't mind. It's like out of control. It just
She's a
didn't,
tough little chick, man.
It didn't look good, man, when she went through.
I know, but being tough is okay, but let's take bumps the right way.
Right.
Nobody needs to see, like, we're all in on it. We know.
Yeah.
We know it's a work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just take it easy on yourself, sweetie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make that sound condescending. I absolutely think she's an incredible performer.
Probably my favorite wrestler.
Just don't want to see her hurt.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see her hurt.
I thought they delivered. I thought the girls did a good job.
It was a good job. Now, I heard of a lot of people who disliked the fact that they spent the first 15 minutes, like, outside of the cage and that whole injury angle. Did you like the injury angle?
I thought it took too long. They should have gone a little quicker because they took me out of the match.
Okay.
You know?
I'd agree. It took too long, but I'm not going to complain about it just because of the powerbomb that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a good match. I thought the injury angle in the beginning worked, but they already did it earlier in the night.
Exactly.
You can't. That's like when they used to get in that rut where they, like, literally every other match was a music hits, Titantron, distraction roll up finish.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It was almost like it's way too overused.
I was a little confused when they rolled out of the ring too. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, this isn't a Hell in a Cell match. What the fuck? So I don't know where they got that angle from or who came up with that. Maybe Vince or something. I don't know. But
we talked about it in our predictions and things like that. But that certainly should have been the only match in the cage.
I enjoyed the match, except for like the few botched things that happened. But I asked some of my other friends that like wrestling too because I was just curious. But it's just like you said, it's just a lot of mixed reviews. Some people were happy with it, and some people weren't.
It really all over the place.
How about though? And it was very Ring of Honor. Like I would have seen it there. But the power bomb by Rollins to Owens through the two tables. First off,
beautiful.
For the record, just being
was that the spot where he? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
keep that train of thought. But was that the spot where he lifted Owens up by himself?
Yeah!
What a display of power that was.
It's that CrossFit.
The sickest athlete.
That CrossFit shit, yeah.
Seriously though, he's the sickest athlete in the company. I mean, AJ Styles is Olympic level athlete, whatever, but like Rollins is the sickest athlete.
It's that secret like Cesaro strength because they both do CrossFit together. And when Luke Harper's healthy, he always does it with them too, and that's why those guys like really thrive at what they do because like you don't expect them to do the things they do.
We'll get to Luke Harper. He is the best thing about the Wyatt family.
So, real quick, though, to finish up with that spot, like, you had to put the table underneath. Like, yeah, I know it's a two-table spot, and that's sick. If that table wasn't underneath, he wouldn't have landed on anything. He would have been dead. Oh, but just the the kitty corner table, and then the other, like, that was beautiful. That could have gone really wrong. Either he could have got hurt, or one of the tables broke and the other one didn't, or all kinds of shit.
We say that every Owens match.
But it was perfect.
It was.
What was Jericho saying on Raw? He was like, "Lock it in, man."
Oh, dude.
He is just the best, man.
Incredible. All these little nuances. And you know who I was impressed with?
They need to make a DVD of this shit.
They
will. They
have to.
Everyone's just. There's not one person from Meltzer down to us, like, who is not praising Jericho. Yeah.
We just don't want him to leave, man. Please just keep pushing that tour back or whatever.
I know, and he has been.
Album,
he was supposed
whatever.
to definitely be gone by now. Fozzy is working on a record, but shit, dude. Like, he's probably looking at him like, "Hey, I'm funding this entire record for this from this WWE run."
So just relax,
yeah, exactly.
Right? Is he? Because is he? He's still going with them and making time to go with his band or whatever, right?
He's been working a full WWE schedule.
So I see him with pictures with other, like, rock guys. So I'm not sure exactly who the guys are in his band. Maybe
a lot of those guys are guests on his show,
just
guests
on
podcast.
the show. So he does the podcast as he's going.
Incredible.
He does everything.
Dude,
he just finished a new book too.
He's a fucking talent, man.
Did you guys ever see the sitcom, the internet sitcom that he had going? He doesn't do it.
But I'm Chris Jericho.
Yeah, something.
I never saw it.
I never saw it.
Man, me and my wife watched the whole series.
Good.
Hysterical, absolutely. And this is a few years ago, and he doesn't do it anymore. But it wasn't about wrestling. It appealed to everybody. But, like, it was literally basically kind of sort of his character now, where he's like, "But I'm Chris Jericho. Like, I beat no one will give him a job in Hollywood."
That's awesome.
And so but I'm Chris Jericho. Right? So, like, no one will give him his job. He's got this weird-ass roommate, like this little schlubby guy. And, like, dude, it really is funny. And then, like, the whole thing is, like somebody's, like, some little, like, bitch-ass, like, Hollywood director is, like, berating him completely. And he's like, "I beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the same night to be the first ever." You know what I mean? And, like, he does the whole thing. And then, like, we would mark out about, and the director's like,
That's awesome.
don't care at all.
But it's The Rock. Yeah, I mean, he's in movies.
Yeah. But that just plays to Jericho's talents and how good he is.
I need to watch that. It's on YouTube?
Yeah. It's right on YouTube. It's just an internet show.
I
It's
haven't seen
so
it either.
good.
I'll have to check it out too.
It's hysterical. Very funny. Every episode, I think, is like 10 minutes. It's like, and that's the thing, though, too. Like, not only is this guy an amazing talent, but the thing that really puts him over the edge is he's so innovative, and he has that downfield vision where he is always on to the next thing, and he literally is a trendsetter, just like he was in WCW, and just like he was when he came to the WWE, just like he is now. And he does these things like, who was doing web episodes 5 years ago? Only Jericho and certain other people. You know, now everyone's doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the podcast, he's got that show is great. That show
it is, and he has a lot of celebrity guests in there all the time.
But it's crazy because, like, he'll dive in to with Owens, which was that was a good episode. It would, like, dance that line between kayfabe and shoot, and I thought it was really funny. Like, they were still referring to each other as best friends and all that stuff, and then but then, you know, he'll turn around and have literally some of the best musicians in the game, the best actors in the game, the whole 9 yards. So. Can't give Jericho enough praise for right now, but where we were going with this whole conversation was that he was wrestling for the U.S. title on Monday night, and I don't know. I think they could have put the strap on him.
I think they should have.
Everybody was going nuts. They wanted him to win. You heard everybody was chanting. They're like, "Fucking Chris Jericho!"
Dude, we were going nuts.
Chris Jericho was over like no face is over right now at Raw on Monday. Like, I thought it was just me. Not
now. I thought okay, this is a slow burn with the Jericho Owens thing, right? And we're loving it. And remember, I was saying,
showing patience for the first time, like,
in years,
in memory.
You're right, 100%. Correct me if I'm wrong. They could take this to WrestleMania.
Yeah, if you keep the strap on Owens,
slow it down. They've even a little bit more so than you are.
And then have somebody from SmackDown win the Rumble.
Tease a little bit in the Survivor Series match. Tease a little bit at the Rumble. Bring it up to Mania, and fuck it, have Jericho win the Rumble then.
I would love that, but
That ain't happening.
nah.
Have
somebody from Smack, or have, I guess, I don't know if they're going to have Michaels fight. Oh, they want to put butts in the seats, so they're going to have Michaels fight AJ.
That has slowed down completely. I mean, I guess it makes sense to slow down any rumor of that because you've got Goldberg coming up at Survivor Series, and you need to push that with all your might. But man, Goldberg and Jericho are the only over people. Attitude Era, WCW.
Wow.
You saw Goldberg botch that move on Monday Night Raw too before he hit the jackhammer.
Yeah, but
no, wait, time out. There's one other guy who's over in WWE. I hate it.
Who is it?
I hate it. James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth.
Oh,
is
man.
over.
Motherfucker is over.
I love him, man.
Just forcing his way into these main events on SmackDown.
The
and
fucking
it's like,
no chin music is genius.
Yes,
Dude.
Otunga's.
That's a
up
fucking-
And he, you know why? Because
Hell of a kick.
And he throws it too. He throws it really good.
Oh, he does.
It's a
Yeah.
great super kick.
Shit, man.
Like he sucks in everything else.
But what about Ziggler? Are they stealing the super kick from Ziggler?
So there's something to be said for that, right? Like, you're actually trying to get this move over with a viable person in Ziggler, and you're sort of making a little bit of a mockery out of it with James Ellsworth. But I think that's okay. I think that's the kind of thing that's probably a little bit too nitpicky, right? Because how long is this Ellsworth thing going to last?
Well, AJ's over too. He's over.
Can we get the Spirit Squad the fuck out of here too? I'm kind of sick of seeing them every week too.
This is not going to be great podcast, but I thank you for bringing that up. I had brought this up on the podcast before. What the fuck happened to Mike Mondo? Like, I don't understand. Let me show you a picture from him from 2014.
All right, let's take a look.
So he's chubby.
Everyone listening right now, Google Mike Mondo. So this guy was
Google Mike Mondo Ring of Honor first.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, just Google Mike Mondo and take a look. So this guy was literally in the contention for the Ring of Honor World Championship in 2013, 2014. And he had got an injury. Remember the big leg injury that took him out when he was fighting Mike Bennett and all that? Remember? Mm-hmm. And then he came back and he still looked okay. He wasn't great, but this is Mike Mondo from 2 years ago.
Like that?
Okay. That's not what he looks like right now at all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's just the way that they've been brought in, or like the fact that they're with the Miz. It's just a fucking terrible storyline. Just get them out of there. If they're gonna be on for a couple more months or whatever, just put them separate and just whatever they got to do. You know what I mean?
So here's how that tag team got back into the WWE. They hit I don't know what happened to Mike, because I his Wikipedia doesn't show anything. They were on the indies, those two. Because how many people? I'm sorry, I'm burping all over the place in the middle of my fucking monologue. But, how many people were in the Spirit Squad originally?
5.
Okay,
Including Ziggler.
Wow.
Those two, Mikey and who is the other one? Kenny they just hit the indie scene last year as a tag team, as the Spirit Squad, and they got over and they started getting bookings all over the place.
Wow!
And so now with the sudden rush on and for the tag team push on SmackDown, they got hired. In my opinion, why are they not job out these guys and put the headbangers in a good position? They look great. They work great. They're in good shape.
They were doing some cool moves.
The only thing is the gimmick is so dated. I don't even think, like, if you're a 17-year-old kid, you don't even get it.
You have no idea. It's that.
They could act more like current. You know what I mean? Like the skirts and shit are stupid. They could just wear like they could dress like headbangers of today.
I guess. Are there headbangers today? Because there are, but we're all the age. You know what I mean? We're the same headbangers that we were in 97.
You're saying our kids in high school into metal now?
They're not. No. Dude, there's the hardcore scene, right? And
that's basically what I'm saying. And those guys shave their heads.
The hardcore scene, for the most part, they dress like rap kids. They really do.
Like Affliction and all that.
Yeah.
Shit.
They're just like rap
that's what
kids
they should do. They should wear like Affliction or like Ed Hardy or whatever,
But
I had a friend who said, "Why does Jerry Lawler look like Ed Hardy's grandfather?"
It's so true. It's so true. And like, I know he's like he wears that crown shirt, the one with the gold like tinfoil crown on it. It's like, dude, that's a Latin King shirt.
Oh my god!
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know you're the king, but like, that's a gang member shirt.
The thing that was going over when I was in high school, I know I graduated a little bit after you guys. We had a few kids that nowadays people would be fucking terrified if they were coming in like this. These guys were freaking like a couple gothic kids we had in our high school, but they were coming in with those like full length trench coats on and shit. And, like,
dude, listen,
nowadays
let me tell
people
you,
be like, "Are you gonna shoot the fucking school up or what?"
When we were in school, like, yeah, we are a couple years older than you, but when we were in school in those late 90s, dude, the goth thing was like in.
It was in.
Half
it was
the
in,
fucking
right?
school would be wearing the kick wears with the like that picture of Hogan that surfaced all of a sudden.
Yeah.
With the Jinkos on, like
Jinkos. Fuck Jinkos. Yeah. So I kind of like the Spirit Squad and the Headbangers being on TV, but like you say, like so many of the older guys, like let them put people over.
Yeah,
that's all you have to do.
Agree.
We're good.
I was planning on trying to have a really cool week where I went to 3 different wrestling shows. I went to Raw. Thank you so much, Brett the Hitman, for helping me get there.
Brett the
and
Hitman,
Joe for driving me.
Brett the Hitman hooked it up for us. You,
no problem.
The
guys.
master of StubHub.
Next time we will all be able to sit together.
Yes.
I dropped the ball on that one.
No,
that was my fault.
You didn't drop the ball at all. I couldn't have gone without your help. Next time, I'm going to have a company car, so don't worry about mileage. Shit, let's go to Philly. Let's go everywhere,
anywhere, dude.
I'm going to have a company car. Mileage is not an issue.
With the pay-per-view, then Raw the next night, man.
Yeah,
okay.
Right? But so I went to Raw. I had a fantastic time. I dressed as New Jack. You guys can look me up on Facebook, whatever. It was so much fun. And then I went to Friday Night Fights for PWA, which was great. Every Friday night, man. If you want to just see live wrestling for $5, it's good every time, every match. Although Bull Dread. Okay, so the Sexy Beast Bull Dread is a Waterbury wrestling legend. He's been in the business for probably 15 to 20 years, if I'm not mistaken.
And very recently just reinvented himself, gave himself a new gimmick, and it's working.
He lost a buttload of weight, and he's looking real sharp, and really pulls off this Italian like lover angle. Here, man. Okay. But so he was fighting this kid, right? And I'm not going to make fun of this kid. In fact, I was there, and the people around me were making fun of him, and they were also students at the school. And I was like, guys, stop. Like, that could be any of us. You know? He's just green. He's super green. His name was Irish. He hailed from Ireland. He wore jeans and a wife beater.
Was that like an inside thing that like is motherfucker? You're so green. I'm gonna call you Irish.
Maybe he wore a green headband and a green hat. It's possible, you know. And like, it was kind of like a high school play where somebody forgot their lines, right? It's like, I'm not throwing this kid under the bus. Mad props. He's been in the ring and I haven't yet in front of people, right? So I am not talking junk. What I was most impressed by was how Bull Dread took it and made a match out of it. You know, when something happened and there was some disconnect there, he just kept it going. It was amazing. You see that from like a truly respected veteran.
That's a totally veteran move, right?
Oh,
that's,
he killed
that's
it.
Probably the definition of ring general.
He did a great job, and he's like, I'm not even really supposed to be a heel, but like I had to take control of the match.
Sure.
And his move, the castrator, is so awesome. He gets you up on his shoulder by the legs, so your legs are hanging on either side of his shoulder, and then he just does a stunner to your nuts. It's fucking awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all went to Raw on Monday night.
Yes.
Let's start there. There was a lot of great live wrestling this week, especially in Connecticut. I mean, we had Raw on Monday night in Hartford. Mind you, it was Halloween. Probably one of the worst Raws that have ever hit Hartford, and that's including WrestleMania 11. And then...
Wait a minute, what?
I didn't like Raw at all. But
the one we went to?
Yeah. I thought it was a terrible show, in all honesty. Listen, live wrestling is fun.
We had no
but
Stephanie.
The show itself...
Yeah, I wanted some Stephanie tits that night. You know,
Oh God,
It
Brett.
depends who's dressing her, right? That's the question.
Hitman.
She dresses herself. That's the problem.
Oh God,
that's the problem. She looks like death. But,
I really respect you. Please don't say something like that.
Had to get a reaction out of you first, right?
Oh God, that's worse than Apollo Crews' smile. Go ahead, Joe. What were you saying?
In all honesty, I'd probably let her spit in my ass while she gives me a reach around.
Well, you know what Levesque does, so... Oh, no! I'll never work for WWE. All right.
Hopefully she's not listening to this.
Yeah, right.
Top on with the top of Stephanie's cue, for sure.
So...
and so there was the NEW show, which had one... I didn't get a chance to see the show, but it had a great card, a very fun card. Brian Anthony for the belt, and then Matt Hardy, and even I think Warbeard was there. Like everyone was there. It looked good.
Cody
Rhodes, Jeff Hardy.
So bummed. Like I missed it. I went to Raw. I went to PWA. I was ready to go to NEW. I'm sorry, Ron Zombie. I'm sorry, Boldred. I'm sorry, Wrecking Ball Legursky. I could have gone, but. Here's so Wrecking Ball Legursky won a battle royal, right? This is a dude I have actually trained with in the ring. He's a gigantic dude. He just debuted for Ring of Honor. In fact, if I may, in the same week, Randy Shawn helped Sasha Banks off of her Escalade. So that's a local wrestler, a Connecticut wrestler, on WWE TV. A.R. Fox made his debut at Lucha Underground as a really prominent storyline with this guy, Killshot, I guess. He's like his long-lost something. They haven't really gone into it. And Wrecking Ball Legursky debuted on Ring of Honor coming down with the Cabinet. So Connecticut guys are really making strides. It's so awesome to see. All of the active wrestlers who train at PWA had matches this weekend, either at NEW or up in New York. It's just really, we're talking about how the WWE product might not be making us as happy as it did months ago, but right now, Connecticut wrestlers are fucking killing it.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great to see. And I think that speaks a lot for the fact that, we're deep rooted in wrestling here, with the New York thing, and NEW has always been one of the most prominent indies in the country.
Probably the biggest indie that isn't Ring of Honor.
Sure, without a doubt.
If TNA counts.
And it's just really good to see the hard work of these guys paying off, and it's also good to see that while we might not have that really clear-cut number two company, like the WCW to WWE to WWE's WWF, if you will.
Exactly.
But we've got outlets for these guys to go. You know what I mean? We've got places for people to work, despite the fact that WWE has so many things. But things like NXT and even the Cruiserweight Classic have opened doors for people, and so therefore it's trickle-down effect.
And some of these guys come out and say, after they leave WWE, hey, now I can make a living, a comfortable, happy living, doing what I love, because that's not what they were doing in WWE, because the style, whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
totally.
Ryback's still bitching. I don't know if you ever read transcriptions of his podcast.
He's not really getting booked, right?
Fucking whining all the time.
He has his own website for his merchandise too. He probably doesn't sell shit. Like, I don't know. I'm just not. I was never a fan of his wrestling either. Like, he's just fucking trash.
He can't
man.
wrestle.
If Sandow showed up in WWE in TNA like immediately, and Ryback didn't.
Well, I think I think that was on Ryback. I think the TNA thing was on Ryback. I don't think he wanted to go to TNA. I think he thought he was going to come out and be Cody, right? But here's the thing: Cody is a fucking Rhodes.
Yes.
Who is an excellent performer and can wrestle his ass off.
Oh, he's so good.
He can put himself, he can go to a PWG and have just as good of a match as, Zack Sabre Jr. and fucking Kenta Kobashi. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Ryback can't. And
Listen,
so
I hope Ryback fucking finds a way to listen to this show, because I'll tell you right now, he thinks he was deserving of a WWE title, like the World Heavyweight title, as a matter of fact. You're not fucking deserving. You never were good enough. You never got over in the matches. You thought you were more than you were, and you just didn't deserve it. Like, you never did.
I totally agree with you. You got to like his confidence, though, right?
I love his confidence.
His confidence. I'll give him that.
I love his like kind of, he doesn't talk shit about people, right? Like even Punk. who buried him on that podcast. He doesn't talk shit about him. So, cool.
It's ironic that they both left the company for the same gripes and same reasons.
Right. But what I would say about Ryback, I don't even think he deserved the IC title, and I know that the IC title isn't what it used to be, but damn.
The only thing I could say for Ryback is maybe, and I'm not sure, there must be some reason why he's not there yet, but he might be able to get over in Japan.
That's a possibility.
They like the big, strong white guys.
Yeah. Scott Norton just came back. Like, well, how old is he? Like 60?
Oh, my God. I just hope I don't have to hear from Ryback in a really long time, because I was just so, when he was in WWE, I got so sick of him. I was just, I don't know why. I couldn't get.
It's a one-dimensional character. You
it's
can't.
Fucking
you have
terrible.
You have nowhere. No, you have nowhere to develop with that character. And so, whatever. Then the guy was getting Goldberg chance. I mean, look how
that is the one thing I would rather see Goldberg versus Ryback than versus Lesnar.
I disagree with you. I think the star power there is at least drawing, right? And then you've got the fact that whole mess that they
it's just
had.
It's gonna be sloppy, dude.
But that it probably is. But it's like that's like watching the train wreck thing. You know what I mean?
don't want to watch a train wreck. I'm the guy who is cursing out everybody who slows down to look at the accident on the highway. Like, stop. Just drive.
You're going to cause another fucking accident,
right?
That's how it is.
And how can you be so, obsessed with, somebody else's fucking awful, horrible event in their life? Like, stop.
So you're not excited at all to see if they can overcome all the stuff that's stacked up against them and that shit catastrophe of a match they had at WrestleMania?
That's the precise reason why I don't think they should be wrestling each other at all.
Okay.
Because they were both popular. And everyone knew that it was their last match. It's like, guys, if you had endeared yourselves to these fans, if you had built something more for this match, then they would be chanting, "Please don't go." They wouldn't be chanting, whatever for Steve Austin, who's the ref.
Not chanting at all. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Let me ask you guys something. With all these new guys that are getting opportunities in WWE because of the brand split, when they go back and they put everyone together again, and the brand split is over, where do you see a lot of these guys going? Because WWE is not going to be able to fit a lot of them in on their roster, correct?
Well, yeah, I'll preface this by saying I don't think, in all honesty, I don't think the brand split's going anywhere for a while.
They're going to keep it around for a while. Exactly.
It's not been successful yet at all.
Absolutely not.
But
I think it has. I mean, it hasn't created the opportunities that it should have created for people, but I would rather see Ambrose once a week and Reigns once a week than have to watch them both every fucking night.
Certain aspects have worked for certain guys, but not for everybody, because it seems like guys that aren't also not deserving of opportunities are also getting opportunities too, because they're really just trying to give everybody a shot. Oh, well, let's put everybody on the roster on the show because we need to get everybody out there. You know what I mean? That's what it seems like sometimes.
I do, and I hear what both of you are saying, but in all honesty, this was the first week in a long time that I got to see both shows. Mm-hmm. And the only reason is because I was at Raw.
Yeah.
and then I had a sick day on Wednesday. Yeah. And so I was able to watch SmackDown. Other than that, I'm never able to watch SmackDown. By the time I've watched Raw, it's the middle of the week. Like, my wife wants to watch some Law and Order or some shit. And I gotta adjust. So dude, I have not been able to really enjoy this absolute terror that The Miz is on, because I just can't watch SmackDown. Now, to me, I would rather see the best of the best collectively than watch a fucking battle royal with Jinder Mahal in it. So, in my opinion, the brand split is shitty, where you're saying, okay, let's we don't want to see these same guys do the same thing for 6 hours every week.
Right.
But I do want to see The Miz and Daniel Bryan going at it. They had an awesome exchange this week on SmackDown.
If they're going to set this fucking matchup or do, I don't know what they're having.
I don't know what's going on there.
Something strange.
It is a little bit strange.
If they let them have one match,
they're not going to.
Let them have one, like a farewell match. I don't know.
One farewell match.
He wants it.
It seems like he's in. Maybe Shane, because him and Shane are close now. Maybe it's possible that Shane can push for him. But like I said, he's going to have to. I don't know how WWE's going to. He's going to have to sign a waiver that if something happens, that they're not responsible. I think that's how they're going to have to do it.
I guess they're going to have to do it. I don't think even any waiver, like they're still liable.
They're still liable.
Still
Not only are they still liable, but like in their opinion, I mean, he's a focal point on Total Bellas, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen the show, but
he is.
You know,
The Miz said, while something along the lines of, I've been running the show over. I've been the top star over here, while you've been walking around John Cena's house complaining. Yeah. Dude, on it, like Miz is on point. I'm telling you, he's like.
I wonder how much of it is Maurice being there, but
I love her being there
because he's having so much more. He's having so much,
hot.
Dude.
He's having more fun because he gets to see his wife every day.
Yeah, he's having a great time, dude. Here's the thing, SmackDown.
Dude, he's on point with Jericho.
Yes,
dude. A feud between. All right, Jericho goes face. See, originally, I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place.
No,
but
that's fine.
I think that they were going to have Owens go face and Jericho be the heel when they finally do that. At this stage of the game, they got to go the other way. Exactly. They got to keep Jericho the heel, the face. They got to get Jericho going face. He's already over. He's got all his new catchphrases over, like the word "it."
This is the one week I didn't get to see.
He is.
I didn't get to see SmackDown, but I will watch it later. But The Miz and AJ Styles are really running that show, pretty much.
Without doubt.
Whatever you want to say about Dean
Ambrose. And they've kept the two apart.
And
Ziggler.
Dean is
garbage.
And Ziggler, like, Ziggler's character.
You hate him so much.
Well, I don't hate him. It's just like, okay, like, all right, so you got Raw, right? People are marking out for the fact that fucking Reigns and Rollins looked at each other because of the Shield thing. Right? And then you got Ambrose, like,
being outshined by James Ellsworth, right?
Yes.
But can I just throw this out there? If WWE let Ambrose do what he is good at, like they did when he was in the Shield, when he earned the name the Lunatic Fringe, instead of like emulating a caricature of crazy, if they'd let it be
a caricature of Brian Pillman,
let
him be Brian Pillman.
If you let him be crazy, he's gonna draw more. He's gonna be more believable. He's gonna be more fun to watch. Like. They're limiting him.
Let him be crazy then.
Let him do everything that he wants to do.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's just like the same.
Turn him fucking heel. Finally,
the same thing could be said for the Wyatts.
He never should have been face. How? I don't mind Rollins being the one who turned on Reigns and Ambrose at all. That's actually pretty good because
it still works.
You have to give him a personality,
and it still works.
But dude. Ambrose is a God-given natural talent heel. Like,
I think they really were just trying to chase the fact that they felt that Ambrose was that anti-authority, anti-hero. And
it should have been him instead of Reigns then. Back there. When they made it Reigns. What were you saying about the Wyatts? I'm sorry. We're all like all over the place, but
we are. But this is a good show. We're talking. We're not just running down what happened. We're actually having opinions. And what I was saying was that, like, in the same way that they're not letting Ambrose be Ambrose enough, like be enough. They're not giving us enough Ambrose, is what I'm saying.
And they're not letting the Wyatts be dark and evil enough and mysterious.
Right?
Enough,
it's like everything's. It's like SmackDown is a big giant half a hand job. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
You know what I mean? No one likes blue balls.
No,
let us have it.
But everyone likes American Alpha, and you fucking buried them already. What are you doing?
I don't know. They wrestled the Headbangers this week, I think.
And that might be good. Cool. Great. Who won?
They didn't wrestle the Headbangers.
Oh.
They wrestled maybe Spirit Squad? I don't know.
Okay.
Either way, American Alpha, you're right. You're right.
They were over as fuck the second they set foot in that ring, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we got to take some steam off them because we're putting the straps on somebody else.
Yeah.
And,
if you put Kurt Angle and let him manage American Alpha, you've got yourself a top team.
And once in a while, jump in as like a 6-man.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be cool. You guys mind if we get into the Paige story a little bit?
Oh, by all means.
I mean, you might know more than me about it. I just know a little bit about what I read online. I know that WWE said they wanted Paige to compete still and that she did not have a serious injury, so they wanted her to be on the shows. And I know Alberto Del Rio has been taking shots at WWE on social media.
The whole thing has been how hurt is Paige, right? That's really what it comes down to. For Del Rio and the Paige thing. I mean, we don't know what goes on between two people, and we don't know what goes on in the backstage scenes of the WWE.
And I don't want to see Alberto Del Rio naked, but if they release a sex tape, sorry,
he's a handsome guy.
He's an all right looking guy.
We'll check Paige out.
He's probably no homo. This comes with a huge pause, but he's probably the best looking Mexican I've ever seen.
Okay.
Anyway,
male Mexican maybe.
Yeah,
I was into Salma Hayek.
You know, it's okay. You know, it's weird that like, all right. So I used to live in Los Angeles. This is going to come out. So I'm not going to say it. Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Oh, you can't start.
I can't do it. I can't say it.
Okay.
I can't say what I wanted to say.
Wow.
I can't. But
so
I will say.
But I will
say. I will say. I will. No.
No, I'm kidding.
You know what? That's actually better than what I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that. I'm sorry, but when I lived in Los Angeles, there's not many Puerto Ricans out there. I'm sorry, Samoans for the sake of the podcast.
Samoans.
But
there's probably more Samoans than Puerto Ricans.
They looked at me and they were like, "That's the biggest Mexican I've ever seen in my life." That's literally what happened, like on many occasions.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway. Shit, I really wanted to say what I was going to say, but I just can't do it. So
okay, well, let's say things we can say, like Paige is super hot, and I don't mean to sound like some kind of like depraved, desperate guy,
right, so
but like,
the thing is, like, there's that Del Rio wasn't happy with the way WWE was treating him.
Yes,
and so he left.
Rightly so.
They came back. The Cena thing was hot, right when he first came back. It was great. It was all good. Then they stuck him with Zeb. And then they didn't. And then they stuck him in the League of Nations. And they didn't. And then they put him in. You know what I mean? And then they just shit on him.
Just fucking trash, yeah.
So they buried him. So then, but right now, he is the president of Combate Americas, which is it's neck and neck with Bellator right now.
Yes.
It's the number 2 fucking MMA company in the country. So he's okay.
He's going to be okay.
Paige, on the other hand, I don't know. Like,
she might be messing up her.
I think she's done fucked up, and we've talked.
WWE.
It's been very well documented that she's got an attitude problem.
Yes, and she did. She got in a second opinion for her neck, and she did have neck surgery after WWE told her that she wouldn't need it. So that's another issue, and it almost, like I said, it brings us back to the CM Punk story where they told him the same fucking shit.
So I guess they got to get their shit together here.
So something's wrong here, because why would somebody else tell her she needs neck surgery?
So you're telling CM Punk and Paige that they don't need very serious surgeries, but you're not letting Daniel Bryan, who by all accounts, from his account, says he's okay to wrestle.
Yeah, and then they won't let him wrestle just because they're worried about people that have had the same injury in the past. Well, I know people that have had the same injury before, but some people heal differently than other people, and that's what you have to realize. It's not the same.
Right.
Know?
So I'm certainly
everyone's body is different.
Right, and that's a good point. Everyone's body is different.
Some people are very fragile, and that's how it is. Like me, I'm very known. Like, people know me when I play sports. Like, I always get injured. Like, you know that because you've known me for a while. Like, you haven't seen. I know Bear hasn't really realized that, but I've had wrist surgery, I've had shoulder surgery, I've had hand surgery, I've had a whole bunch of shit happen, and it's like
champion basketball team though.
Yeah, a champion basketball team though. But it's like I still find a way.
That's what that ring was.
I still find a way to get out there somehow, and it's like I just love competing and stuff like that. But it's like my body, like, obviously would be different. WWE would be like, no, this guy's, injury fragile. But it's like, some people are able to get over the fact, and they'll be fine. Like Daniel Bryan thinks he would be fine.
Right.
So, like I said, if he's willing to take the risk, you know what I mean?
So what do you think it is with the doctors, though? Like, do you think that, like, these doctors are just kind of quacks? Or, like, do you think that they're catering to the WWE agenda?
I don't
know. Hard. I mean,
it's tough.
And if they are catering to the WWE agenda, what is the agenda?
Why does the agenda take the mic out of the hottest hand? Like with Punk,
sure.
Or Paige was, in my opinion, before this like revolution they're talking about, bringing up some chicks from NXT. Paige was that good.
Well, Paige is that good. AJ
Styles. Paige and AJ was fucking sick.
Paige and AJ was literally the bridge between divas to women's wrestling.
I think so. I think so completely, and I think she doesn't get any acknowledgement for that whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
She was down in NXT with all these other women.
She's an amazing wrestler. In WWE, you know that they're going to downplay this whole.
If she was in
fucking
Lucha
story.
Underground, she'd be fighting dudes, and she'd be doing fine.
So I just don't understand. Then what benefit do we have?
I don't think the WWE doctors are quacks. It's just like WWE will downplay this story. It's that I know doctors because I've had doctors give me different opinions too. So sometimes they do have different opinions. But if someone tells you need surgery and they're like a professional in what they do, I think they know what the fuck they're talking about. So it's almost like that maybe WWE should look into the people that are looking at their wrestlers or maybe question about their doctors. I don't know because now.
But Andrews is like one of the best doctors in the country.
Is it James Andrews?
Yeah,
does it? And he does all the professional athletes. So
that's what I mean.
I would never question him at all. Man.
That's what I mean.
But that's the WWE. That's the agenda. The mysterious agenda that we can't explain.
It's the inexplicable agenda. What the fuck is the agenda?
Draw. If Bryan was wrestling, he would be the biggest draw. He would outdraw Lesnar,
especially now.
The yes chants were like. Cult-like.
Mixed with being...
But you're talking about like 20,000 people.
And now his style is over, and he's the best at it. And so he would certainly be the most over person. He's got the star power now, and he's the best at the style that is over.
Hulk fucking Hogan never had anything like the yes chant.
Nope.
All right. Like, let's be legit.
Well, okay.
He had more mainstream media success. He had more visibility outside of the world of wrestling.
100,000 strong in the Silverdome, brother.
Sure. But that yes chant was like everyone in the building. And like some of them, I'll bet you like maybe like 4% of those people were just doing it because everyone else was.
Right.
But like the wrestling world as a whole, everyone who enjoyed professional wrestling was obsessed with that guy while he was doing it.
Dude, Flight of the Conchords, like that hits, and that's all you think of. You know what I mean? Is Daniel Bryan.
There's some question marks here for WWE. The
Valkyries.
Flight
of the Conchords is good too, though.
What's Flight of the Conchords?
HBO fucking TV show that's like Tenacious D, but they're from like New Zealand. Right on, but
you can't see me, but I'm laughing.
He's
whatever.
cracking up over here.
That was a pretty good. What do you call
Flub.
it? Yeah,
nice botch.
Freudian slip.
Botchamania over here.
We know WWE is not going to answer to this because they never do. They always throw everything under the bus. You know how they are. So there's some question marks here in that. I'm happy that we're at least bringing it up because I think people should talk about it because this is definitely concerning because it's happened with 3 or 4 star wrestlers where they've had different opinions. And
right.
I don't question James Andrews because he even works on like guys like Kobe Bryant. He's
that's what I mean.
He's done some unreal.
That's what I mean.
surgeries,
Okay, so WWE needs to take their agenda and close the gap on whether or not who should wrestle and who shouldn't. And the other gap they need to close is that huge space between Stephanie's tits.
Oh my God.
Wow.
She's like a pirate's dream, bro.
We came all the way
motherfucker,
back.
call her Scully McMahon. She's got a sunken chest.
Wow.
Scully McMahon. Oh man.
I wonder.
Triple H is over here. I got a different opinion than you.
Yeah, whatever.
I think play the game.
Maybe the reason why the big fucking caved in chest between her tits is there is so that he can stick his nose all the way in when he's giving her a motorboat.
Triple H, I hope you're not listening either, man.
Anyway, maybe she's doing DDP yoga with Kofi Kingston and Chris Jericho.
Maybe.
Kofi Kingston's chest is a whole
Dude, they
other
might as well
topic.
bring back DDP. Jericho's over.
Might as well.
Listen, he's in the best shape. He's in the best shape of his life. Jericho's over. Goldberg's over. Only 2 people over in the entire company.
I wouldn't mind seeing some diamond cutters around here.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like AJ's over, Ellsworth.
Okay.
For what it's worth.
Hey Joe, before
but
I don't mean to cut you guys off. The doctor that was doing it with CM Punk wasn't James Andrews though. It was some foreign guy that was like in the middle of it. Yeah. Remember? I can't think of his name, but remember there was the big thing with Colt Cabana and the whole thing like that.
Yeah,
it was some foreign guy. It wasn't Andrews.
I don't know his name for sure, but I don't think at one point maybe around 2012, 2013. Andrews was the primary doctor. Dude, I don't know if he's the primary doctor anymore.
Well, I don't think he's
primary. He only does like the superstar guys. But Rollins
and Cena.
That guy's a fucking genius. So I would never question him. But the other guy,
He'll do Sting when Sting's ready.
yeah, whatever. He's like, Sting, whenever you're ready, I'll make you a fucking brand new person. You know.
Yeah.
You guys want to jump into the results for the pay-per-views? Or
Yes. Okay. So, as for those of you who've been following, we have been sticking to a SmackDown pay-per-view and a Raw pay-per-view, taking the predictions and those things, and then presenting the winner of the most predicted matches.
Pay-per-views,
right,
yeah.
for the month. That way, we're not going every other week with predictions and being a winner there. So, that being said,
you can't call it a pay-per-view anymore, right? I guess. It's not a pay-per-view. It's an event. I don't know. Whatever. I'm going to call it a pay-per-view because that's what we've done for
$5 for Sunday nights. I don't know what the fuck else you call it.
All right. The records going into Hell in a Cell from No Mercy were Joe 4 wins, 3 losses. I was 5 wins and 2 losses, and Bear was 6 wins with 1 loss.
Sounding like the Raiders. And my fantasy team.
Yeah, my fantasy
Why did you
team.
say that like Triple H? Sounded like the Raiders.
No, you got to throw some grit when you talk about the Raiders.
It's like Chris Berman.
Well,
special
now
thing.
that was very Paul Heyman of you.
Paul Heyman-ish. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name. Sorry.
That's pretty
But
good.
you know what we need to bring back? We used to do at the top of the show. We used to do
an impression of
impressions.
somebody?
Yeah, and I used to do a few too.
Yeah. Oh, man, your Dusty Rose
My
is hot.
Dusty is amazing,
Shit.
but we need to bring that back.
Okay.
You do an unbelievable Gold Dust.
How do you guys want me to go? You want me to go through every match, or how do you want me to do this?
I want to pause so I can take a piss.
Okay, pause. Pause, piss. All right, tell me when you're ready to go.
We're rolling.
We're rolling?
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
cut this out.
Rolling.
So
It's The Undertaker.
Rolling.
The Underbiker. The American Pass.
Rolling down the river.
Oh, that rolling. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't do rolling.
Yeah,
He was
he did.
American Badass.
And rolling. Came out to both.
did he?
Yo.
Oh, he did.
The Undertaker
He did.
was not the fucking Undertaker for a while.
I know that. I don't remember.
bullshit.
I don't remember rolling. I remember American Badass.
Came out
which-
to both of them.
Okay, that was Edge though, and I
Yeah.
turned to
Exactly. But Edge. Yeah, we
He's so renowned, right? I agree with you. I did not enjoy any wrestling then.
well,
Ring of Honor.
and it was Cena and Edge, like and Orton. Like that was the 3 guys. So to me, I had nothing to watch. You know, Jericho was there though. That's the thing though. There was a brand split right around that time. So like SmackDown was like Angle, Jericho, Taker.
It was
fucking-
It was the wrestling show.
Yeah. So, you know, we
Funaki.
missed something. We definitely missed something. But it's all good. I'm actually going to go on the record real quick before we get into these predictions and say, because
We're not predicting anything.
well, we're going
What we were.
to cover
We
the
were-
predictions.
Yes.
I was at wrestling school last week, and we were watching Eddie Guerrero matches. Eddie Guerrero had fantastic matches with Ric Flair. I never knew.
No. Really?
Yeah. Hog Wild. Ric Flair, Eddie Guerrero was awesome for the U.S. title.
Was that like the when Flair was wearing a shirt
No.
time?
No.
No?
It was like, I say that and you could think whatever, you know, and I get what you're saying, but like, no, it was fucking Flair against young Eddie Guerrero. Like when he was still kind of a little chubby looking and wearing the whole like
Full
singlet
singlet.
top and the long pants. It was so good. But, and I was like, I like Chavo. To a person in
This
that.
is the second week in a row that he's brought up fucking Chavo Guerrero.
You're doing it too! To a person at that wrestling school, they were like, nobody likes Chavo. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
Chavo's
up, dude.
great.
He is good.
Pepe in WCW
Pepe
was
was
good.
awesome. He executes in the ring. Like,
He works his ass off.
he doesn't lack charisma in the sense, he maybe, if anything, he lacks like, maybe he's not the best on the mic.
You know what it
but
is?
in the ring, he keeps your attention. I think Chavo's great.
I agree.
I'm just going on.
Some people just don't have the appreciation for them because they don't appreciate wrestling as much as we do. I don't think, right?
Ooh.
That's what I would say.
That's fine. You know, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think
No.
The match.
I'm not saying you in general.
I think that it's the fact of the matter of like Chavo is a Guerrero and he's not the best Guerrero.
No, that's true.
How
also.
could you be?
That's
So
true.
what are
also.
you going to say? Owen wasn't good because he was Brett's brother?
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Latino
maybe
heat.
right. Maybe I'm not being completely fair to Chavo. Is what
No,
I'm saying.
I wasn't even saying you. I was saying maybe the guys that he like is watching wrestling with that he was saying or whatever at the wrestling shows or whatever
training with,
or that he's training with. Saying sometimes people have a different appreciation for other guys that some people don't appreciate as much either.
Sure.
So I'm sure we all have that opinion about some guys.
I just want to throw this out there too. It looks like the Rey Mysterio Chavo loser leaves Lucha match on Lucha Underground looked awesome. I saw highlights.
I didn't get to see it.
Phenomenal.
I did see somebody talking about it.
I gotta catch up on that show because they've done some great things.
I have to watch. I've never seen it.
You would love
Ever.
it. I saw the whole first
Joey Ryan looks awesome.
I saw the whole first season. You especially. You would really appreciate this. This is a product that is unlike any other product.
I've only caught like one little part of it.
It's a show. Like it is. They've taken what they did was they took wrestling, right? Luchador wrestling. They Americanized it a little bit, not to the point where it deterred from the actual what lucha is. But then they've made it to where it's sort of a separate world. You know what I mean? Like
the backstage stuff is part of the storyline.
Right.
Right.
It's part of it's like a tournament.
It's a TV show that has wrestling in
right.
it.
It's got that sort of it's got that Mortal Kombat vibe to it.
I heard they're going to tour.
They are touring right now.
Oh,
they are touring.
That's cool.
They probably won't come around this area. In all honesty,
LA,
they'll probably
right?
hit the Mexican areas, New Mexico, the Texas, and those kind of things. Which is okay. I mean, I would love to, but I would certainly love.
I'm
going
to get roommates this coming weekend, and we're going to get like internet and shit. So I guess
You'll be all set.
how can you watch it?
Well, it's on an El Rey network, so you might have to take some nefarious routes.
No, they got
I'm sure the Hitman can help you with that.
Yeah, they got a few websites online. Watchwrestling.net has like all the wrestling on there. It's fucking unreal. It's all HD and everything.
But we wouldn't condone any sort of illegal
Guys,
activity.
the WWE Network is $9.99, by the way, all right? Just wanted to let everybody know that.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
Until they raise the price. Yeah.
Tears.
Yeah, the tiers thing is going to happen, which, that's not going to be a topic for this week. Next week, I do want to dive into that tier thing. There's a new streaming service coming about. It's called Flow Slam.
Okay.
And it's sort of taking the place of WWE getting involved in the indies and stuff. That $14.99 tier that they were talking about is actually going to be affected heavily by this. So we'll get into this a little bit next week. We'll dive into some of the schematics of the network and some streaming activities. But man, we really got derailed. Let's run down what. Well, first of all, you were saying something about Chavo, Shockmaster.
I was just because I saw the highlights of the match with Ray, and it reminded me that I saw I talked to the guys at the wrestling school about it. I don't know if I've told the story on the podcast or not when I met Chavo. So I'm working at Ruby Tuesday in Danbury, right?
Is this anything like the fact that you were holding your cock while you told AJ he was phenomenal?
That's an embellishment on your part. It's an embellishment. So I'm there. I'm working at Ruby Tuesday in Danbury, Connecticut. They're performing. SmackDown is performing at the O'Neill Center at WestCon, and it's Christmas time. The bar is 3 deep. Every table is full. I have a table leaving. I see Chavo Guerrero Jr. walking around, or Jr.? Chavo. I see Chavo walking around.
Chavo Jr.
Walking around the bar looking for a spot. And I go to him, I say, hey, man, you look familiar. He looks at me like I fucking kidnapped his children. He looks at me like he wants to kill me. He's like, okay. And I'm like, no, dude, is your name Chavo? Just to be like, is this like somebody's uncle who looks like Chavo Guerrero?
Is it
and
Chavo,
he's like,
dude?
yeah. I'm like, dude, come here. I got a seat for you. Right? He's like, oh, thanks. He's excited all of a sudden, right? I don't know if he thought I wanted a picture or like to fucking kiss him on the mouth. Like he looked at me. He looked at me with death. So I walk over. The hostess is bringing people to my table. And I'm like, good radio. I'm like waving her off.
It's good
and
pod. Good pod right there.
And I sit Chavo at my table. And like the people are visibly like, ugh. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. So I sit Chavo. I go over to the hostess after, and I'm like, that was because he was current reigning WWE Cruiserweight Champion at the time. And I'm like, that's the WWF Cruiserweight Champion. Okay, like I'm sitting at my table. I'll buy them a fucking drink, whatever.
Yeah.
So I gave Chavo his pomegranate flavored iced tea and his salad bar for free, and he got a turkey burger, right? So his bill came out to like $9, and he tipped me $10 on $9. And I wanted to let him eat at first, but like before he left, and this is what I've always done with celebrities that I've worked on. You know, like when I've waited tables, I was in New York City. I waited on CeeLo, like I waited on mad people.
You were at Carmine's, right?
One of the fucking
you were at Carmine's,
Carmine's and Ruby Tuesday in Times Square.
Right. So yeah, there you go.
Fucking Taylor Hanson, like motherfucker has the prettiest hair I've never seen on a girl. So I'm talking to Chavo, and I'm like, dude, and Eddie was still alive, and I'm like, dude, I loved fucking Pele or Pepe,
yeah.
and I'm like, and like some of my favorite matches when you were with Los Guerreros, man, like that 3-team tag match, and he's like, bro, the most fun I ever have is when I get to work with Eddie. It's amazing. And I'm like, well, listen, man, I really appreciate you. And he signed a couple things that I gave to a couple people, you know, like pieces of paper. But like he signed like 3 different things so I could give them to people. I have one for myself, and he was an absolutely awesome dude, despite the fact that he wanted to kill me when I first approached him.
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I agree. I think Chavo Guerrero was certainly underrated, and he's done some great things in this business. He's probably made a lot of money too, and I think that
he's been. I hate the fact that his WrestleMania moment was like an 8-second pin by Kane, but. You know, he's had a few matches at WrestleMania. Like
he flagshipped that ECW run, which was garbage. But I mean, at least he was sort of the top guy in that situation.
You know, the tag team with Eddie, in WWE, like elevated both of them.
It did. It did. It was great. It was good.
Do you guys remember the Posse from WWE?
The Mean Street Posse.
Mean Street Posse.
Yeah.
You know, Pete Gas, Rodney.
Yeah.
Dude, Rodney signed a piece of paper for me because, funny story, just really quick, at a football game in high school because one of my dad's friends is Rodney's brother. So it was just like, because I watched wrestling, so I was diehard as a kid. So I was like, oh my God, Rodney from the Posse, like that. You know, like, it was like, like everybody was like going nuts. So like he was just signing it for everybody. So we all got autographs. But that was just a funny story to tell because it's like, now you're like, oh, Rodney from the Posse. Who the fuck is this guy? You know?
Yeah.
No, that's super cool though.
That's another cool story. I don't really remember much of it because I was so young, but I just remember that I do have in my parents' house still. It says like to Brett from Rodney from the Posse, like on this small little piece of paper. I hid somewhere because I thought I was going to be worth something one day.
That's hysterical. That is so funny. Rodney from the Posse. I wonder like, I know they hit the indies for a little bit, and it was as the Mean Street Posse.
Mean Street Posse.
Shane should have brought them out at WrestleMania.
You want to know one?
That would
have been cool. You want to know one other thing too? Is that I know I already told the Ric Flair story before. I have one other story I don't recall that much of. At Bethel High School, they had like 3 legendary wrestlers doing autograph signing. It was for some event. I don't know what it was, but it was a big event in the gymnasium like a long time ago. And I still have the picture, which makes me think about this because of all the stories he has about the wrestlers. And I had a choice between 3 people. I think it was Jimmy Hart, someone else, and the guy I picked, which is funny because with everything that's going on now, I have an autograph, like 16 by 20 picture of Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And my dad was like,
one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, one of the greatest ever. My dad was like, which guy do you want to get or whatever? And I was like, I looked at Jimmy Hart and the other guy, and I was like, I want Superfly Snuka. That's it.
That's awesome.
Dude. So I do have that too. All right,
that's really cool.
Enough of
really cool. I have the.
You got.
I've got the World Heavyweight Championship exact replica signed by the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
And, well, you just topped everyone's stories in like 2 seconds. So.
The only thing that's close is Mike Warziniak has the ECW television title that Rob Van Dam wore.
Nice.
Signed by RVD.
Nice.
So what, RVD gave it to him?
Very cool.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't mean the one he literally wore around his
just like a
waist.
replica?
I just mean the replica of that one, because there was the TV title that looked like the WWE Eagle Wing title. That's the one that RVD won, but not the one that he wore for most of his year-long reign.
That's a beautiful piece to have, too. How did you get your autograph? Where did you see Ric Flair?
I met Ric Flair in Newburgh, New York.
I think we've all met him at some point, probably.
He does a lot
I
of
have
work.
not.
I met him. Here's one regret that I have. I met him at a work event, and Steamboat was there, and I didn't meet him.
You didn't get Steamboat, yeah. That's rough.
You know, and the other thing was, I always so if you look at the belt, which I will hang in this office, I actually just ordered a mount to hang in the office.
It's gonna be beautiful.
So that'll be sweet. But I had Flair sign one side of it because I always wanted Dusty to sign the other side.
The other side of it
because of their feud and all that. And unfortunately, I'll never get that opportunity.
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to get it. I did. That's why I had
get Cody to sign it if you go to an NEW show.
Cody didn't hold that belt. I'll never let Cody sign that belt.
Okay.
well, we
Thought it was like a legacy thing and not like the stable. I mean, like a.
No, I know. I mean, it was more of a who's held it, but you know, Sheamus has had that belt too. So
Did you almost had
Sheamus is good.
I love Sheamus. I do like. I actually have
David
a Sheamus.
Arquette has held that belt. If you want to get into
it. Oh boy, you want to get his autograph on the other side or what?
If you want to get into it.
No,
no, thank you.
Shawn Michaels has held that belt.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's been some names.
Jericho,
There's been some
Taker,
names that have held that belt.
That's for sure.
Hulk Hogan,
Meh.
Kevin Nash.
I'll go down in history. The moment it was WrestleMania 4. It wasn't live. It was a tape at my great grandmother's house, and I watched Hogan beat Savage, and I said, my little teary-eyed fucking child face said, I will never be a fan of yours.
I love that, and I know it's true.
Oh,
and I love that. I was a Hogan fan, but I was a little younger than you, and you know what I mean. It was.
I loved the NWO though. Like when it started, like Hogan was a great.
Yeah, me too.
Heel. He was such a good heel.
To me, that was more along the lines of Hall and Nash just being the coolest dudes in the game. That the reason why I liked NWO. It wasn't so much Hogan.
But Hogan was a great heel.
What year was that?
96?
96 they started.
96, right?
96 they
I remember.
started.
So 96.
And I was such a Horseman mark. Like,
were you? I was like
always, bro.
I was probably like 8.5 years old. I just can recall how shocked I was when I saw Hogan, and it was just like the biggest deal. Everyone was going nuts.
Bash at the Beach, 96.
96.
Dropped the leg right on Savage.
Nobody was expecting it.
Nobody
awesome.
was expecting it.
I mean, that's booking.
No
right
rumor
there.
Probably
site.
the best heel turn ever.
That's booking right there.
No rumor sites for to ruin it or anything.
That's
back then,
booking from, in my opinion,
genius.
One of the top, probably the top 2 best bookers to ever do it. Kevin Sullivan, really, really good stuff, man. Like,
Even if the dirt sheets existed, they never would have.
No.
I don't think anyone would have thought of that.
No way. Kevin Sullivan hid Hogan in his house for days. Hogan hid in Kevin Sullivan's house for 3 days prior. The only reason he was there was because Kevin Sullivan locked him in the house so that Hogan didn't actually went through with it. They had to beg and force Hogan. They had to keep him prisoner because he didn't want to turn.
He
probably turn heel. He thought it was going to ruin his life.
Yep.
And it makes sense, right? If you're Hulk Hogan, think about it. If you're Hulk Hogan,
So is on Total Bellas? Are we going to see Cena get locked in the house? 'Cause that would be awesome.
That shit would be hilarious.
there's a difference though.
Joe looks like he's thinking about doing it himself.
I know, right? I would love a Cena heel turn, and I think he could. It's
gotta happen.
I think
It'll
he could
happen at
really
some
pull
point.
it off.
Oh wait, it's never going to happen.
He's already got deals with NBC.
Is anyone on still listening? That's never going to happen because he's not full time anymore.
Nope. Cena's not going to turn heel, unfortunately.
Wow.
You know, maybe if he goes and does the NBC thing and gets his show a little bit, does some mainstream stuff, and comes back as like one of those fucking WrestleMania Band-Aids.
I thought he was WWE.
Maybe he'll turn heel.
I thought he was WWE forever. I've been here in this business.
He is. Yeah, but you know what though?
You get older.
It's time for him, bro. He deserves it too, and he's very talented,
He
and he
is.
does a great job on these shows.
You remember the first time Rocky came back from Hollywood and he was heel? Cena can do that.
Totally.
He can't play guitar and sing because that was awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
He can't fucking do that. That's for sure.
He can. He
Dude,
can.
those
But he'll pull it off.
he doesn't have. He just does the freestyle rap thing.
Well, he already thinks it's like you almost think of his
He
career.
was great with that. That's his best stuff. Dude,
Yes.
the last time. All right. So in the ring, for the last 3 years, Cena has been great. There's no denying that.
Do you think Cena's like trying
Cena's
to?
been great in the
It's
ring.
the
for
level
last
of
3
his
years.
opponents.
Is he trying to follow the Rock's footsteps here?
Yeah, but I mean,
The reason why people think Cena can't wrestle is because he was fighting Orton and Edge all the time.
Oh my god,
For the record.
the matches with the Orton were
Right.
fucking shit.
Like his matches with Shawn Michaels, his matches with Angle, his matches with Taker, his matches with
Punk,
Jericho.
his matches with Rollins, his matches with Jericho, his matches with everybody, which
know,
means he's a good wrestler.
Some people are well carried, right? And some people cannot carry.
Right.
If he's having a match with Edge, it's going to be fucking boring.
Triple H.
Period.
Yeah.
Orton and Edge have had good matches against each other. I don't know why. They must have a good chemistry or something. But like his matches with Triple H were fucking boring.
Because Triple H, despite what he would like to say, he thinks he's a general, but he needs somebody to carry him.
Right. Like
Undertaker.
But how about this? Because I've thought about this. Jericho, Triple H, what do they have in common? They both had really boring programs with Kane. And Cena. All three of them have had horrible programs with Kane. Maybe Jericho needs a little boost to put on the best match. All three of them have had horrible programs with Kane. So, let that sink in.
Yeah, but I know. I am letting it sink in. That's why I'm not talking. We've seen Jericho. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever seen Jericho actually carry somebody.
Nah. His
On
match
the feuds he's carried.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
carried
yeah.
feuds with the mic
Not
and
in the
stuff.
match,
I'm talking
though.
about in the ring though.
Yeah, his feud with Punk was kind of like on the mic. It was spellbinding, but
And that was the
ring,
best. That was the best match on that WrestleMania, but it wasn't a
was.
good WrestleMania.
It wasn't, and it wasn't a great match.
Right.
You know, it was an okay
Yeah.
match.
You're right.
His match with Shawn Michaels, even it was good. It wasn't what I expected
For
it to
Jericho for Jericho and Shawn
be.
Michaels.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected it to be.
Of course, it wasn't Jericho in '96, and it wasn't Shawn Michaels in '96.
right.
So
also true.
Right. So,
Also
but there's
true.
that.
You talk about storytelling at that point.
Yeah.
I get you. But
Okay.
sorry, but
You know what? We are going to we're going to end this show, and we're going to leave that on a cliffhanger. We are going to give all the results and see who won first thing next week. Right off the top.
We'll just skip the records. I think everyone's seen the matches. Want to just do the records?
Yeah,
real quick?
sure. Let's do it.
All right, so we don't have to get into the matches, but I'll just go with the final record so you guys don't know what your record for the pay-per-views are. In third place with 9 wins and 5 losses from No Mercy and Hell in a Cell is Joe Maga.
Yeah, Daddy.
no, I don't believe you.
In second place with 10 wins and 4 losses, No Mercy, Hell in a Cell. Myself, the Hitman.
Wow, I shit the bed at No Mercy.
Listen,
I was drunk
No, you
and
were
I
6
was
and 1. You were 6 and 1. And
No Mercy, you were 6-1.
Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, you shit
in
the
first
bed at Hell in a
place
Cell.
with No Mercy and Hell in a Cell, 11 wins, 3 losses. This son of a
I
bitch
won.
bear over here, yeah.
Shockmaster Grizzly.
Shockmaster Grizz, 11 and 3 total. And you want to know what's funny about this pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell? Most of us had different picks on different matches, and we all went 5 wins, 2 losses.
Wow, that's
Crazy,
interesting.
right?
Well, because I threw mine around a little bit on
threw yours
purpose.
around.
I
was
did.
like
Me
trying
too. I did that at No Mercy. I
Funny
didn't do
part,
that at
I
Hell
will
in a
give you
Cell.
credit because you're the only person that took Charlotte, and now that I think about it, I should have taken her too. So I give you credit for that pick because
Kendrick and Perkins.
I wish.
right?
I wish I lost that. pick.
Bears loss was on T.J. Perkins.
I
and-
never saw Perkins lose
and
in the
Sasha
strap
Banks and Sasha Banks. My losses were Enzo and Cass and Sasha Banks. Joe's losses were Enzo and Cass and Rusev.
That's another cliffhanger. We're gonna get into this we're going to dive real deep into the cruiserweight division next week. This is good. We got some time building up to Survivor Series. We got some time to really dive in and talk about some of the things that are going on. We'll cover some TNA stuff next week, and we'll also definitely cover this cruiserweight division. I got a lot to say about the cruiserweight division.
And also on top of that, we'll get Bear's selection for which T-shirt he's going to get from WWE Shop. Wow. Better start looking at the website, man.
Honestly, like, I'm with it, and I'm happy for Bear, but he hasn't even cracked out the certified G shirt yet.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Well, no, he said
fucking winter,
dude.
It's cold.
What are we gonna start doing hoodies instead? We're like, all right, it's
and we're on Sundays, man. Like it's fucking
Raiders.
The Sundays is working though.
It is.
Yeah, the G-men. We're about to take out the Eagles.
We are about to take the Eagles, mind you. 2 out of 3 of us are hungover every Sunday morning, but.
Well, as soon as weed starts giving you hangovers, Brett's going to be with us.
You never know. You never know. You really don't.
Anyway, we're talking nonsense now. Thank you guys for listening. It was a good show. It was fun, as always. For the excellence of Exhale, Brett the Hitman. For the bronking bucko. That doesn't even make any sense.
The bucking bronco.
Of stucco. Stop. The Shockmaster Grizz. I'm Joe Maga, signing out.